The latest in the Gayest podcast is intended for listening by adult members of the LGBTQIA plus community and their allies. Discussions may contain material not suitable for folks under the age of 18. Listener discretion is advised. And welcome to the second part of the Barbara Diane from Accounting interview spectacular here on
To Electric Boogaloo,
the Electric Pussy remix.
the
Um,
Thunderpuss.
we are joined today by a person of great honor and respect,
Hmm.
someone who has, I think, redefined what winning a Nobel Prize is really about. Um, and they put so much love and kindness into the world that
Thank you so much. Oh my
it
goodness.
just wouldn't be the same. Today we are joined by one of the co-hosts of a very well-known podcast, The Latest and the Gayest, Mr. Joshua Gonzalez. Welcome, Josh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a lovely day, and that was such a lovely introduction. And thank you so much for that. That was so sweet of you. Oh, I've recently been getting into Celsiuses. We get them at work. Like our
See,
boss will buy a case of them, and they kind of turn my pussy out. They if
I
Celsius, if you're listening,
it's
we'll
like
we'll
the
sponsor.
one it's like one of the few things that makes my Costco membership worth it. It truly is.
Truly.
Now, speaking of new things in your life,
Hmm.
you are you and
Oh my
your
god.
co-host Alex,
Yes.
who could not
Unfortunately,
be
couldn't make it
here.
today.
No.
Yeah, he's in Switzerland with Jennifer Coolidge filming not filming, recording an album. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
Well,
I
I
guess when they
wish,
were on set together, they spat ball the idea now that they're making it happen, which is, I mean, think
you
about
know,
Alex. He's a getter, he's a doer. He does
I
things.
I think that's just really a commendable thing. I wish him all the best.
Hmm.
Um,
Of course, of course.
you and Alex have been doing the show for 2 seasons now.
Yes.
Um, do you feel like you have changed in some kind of a way since season one? And if yes, how so?
I think I've definitely changed. I think I'm definitely started to take things a bit more seriously. When we first started out, I was definitely, you know, hoping for the best, but expecting, not much. But also, I, I really thought that it was a fun thing to do. But now I'm really, how do I put it? I've really started to see myself really care about this much more, take it much more personally. Um, and I think it changed for myself. I mean, it definitely with like the queer quandaries, I've been taking the information that I've been getting more seriously, and I've been just doing more research. Definitely just trying to be more aware. I guess that's the thing I'm about the podcast now that I've also done with editing. I'm just more aware of everything now because it used to be
Mm,
able to be show up, look pretty, and then be done. But now I'm taking a more active role in everything, and I'm seeing more sides of it that I hadn't seen before.
well, I think that really is says a lot about your award-winning spirit. Um, how
My
much
spirit.
you truly take to heart. Was this ever something that you saw yourself kind of doing in the past, or was this something that kind of just took you by surprise?
Honestly, I saw myself doing some kind of content because I mean everyone is now becoming throwing their hat in the ring, trying to become a content creator.
It's
Um,
true.
but I really never saw myself, doing a podcast for sure. I actually think a thing that this has helped me get over, but also be aware of, is my voice. I used to be a little self-conscious about the way I talked, and like I do know that I stutter and mumble a lot, and I'm trying to get better about like speaking more clearly, but also I also like to really appreciate things I like with my voice too. So it's a delightful surprise, and I never saw myself coming. I mean, I think Alex posted on his like Instagram story or something that, hey, who wants to do a podcast? And I was like, fuck it, I want to do a podcast, and that's kind of what happened. So it really it was a surprise, and not something I was expecting to do, but something I'm glad I did, and something that also just now having done it makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, you know, I think we one of our inside sources
Mm,
communicated with Alex, and they, you know, I think he said that, you know, they just it was kind of a passion project for everyone involved, and I
mm-hmm.
think once it just kind of made sense for the both of you.
Of course.
Do you feel like you would have been able to, do you feel like you would have put yourself into something like this had he not asked the opportunity?
Um, Probably not. No, honestly. And I can't think of anyone else I can't think of anyone else that I could do it with that would consistently show up. I think. Sorry, what was the question again? I kind of got myself.
Yeah. What do you feel like, had Alex
Oh,
not
had he not
present not
had I
presented you
done
with
it?
the opportunity, would you have gone on to do something like
Honestly,
this yourself?
honestly, not anytime soon. It would have been something I started like my late, even later in my 20s. I'm turning 25 this year. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be my late 20s soon. Um,
You, in gay years, that's like basically
I'm
decrepit.
dead, dead. I'm dying soon. My funeral is
Retire.
next
You're
weekend.
like you as soon as you hit 24, you're retired.
Yeah, I'm retiring my whole and
Yeah,
giving
which
it
is
up.
what I believe. I think your co-host Alex is turning 24 this year.
It's he's in his golden years,
Really,
and
eh,
I'm at the grave,
my yeah, his prime years are well past him at this point.
but still slaying the game
Absolutely.
at the same
But
time.
you know, I think in like gay hookup culture,
Hmm.
the sweet spot for being like the hot young desirable thing
Hmm.
is 19 through 22.
Yeah, 19 to 22, you're a hot commodity, and I think in your mid 30s, you get this resurgence
You
of being the hot
become,
older guy,
yeah, you become like
older.
the silver fox, the daddy, even though you don't have any gray hairs yet,
Hmm.
because you're like, I'm in my 30s. What are you talking about?
But still,
But
you're the
yeah,
older man.
all these youngins are like, "Ooh, hi, daddy." And I'm like, I was
Okay,
I
interesting.
was born in the late 90s. What are you talking about?
Exactly. I was born before 2000. Like, shut up.
Yeah. I was I was learning to read and write when when Selena Gomez was still on Barney.
I didn't even think about that. That's wild.
That I mean, and now she's in like the headlines constantly.
Oh my god, who was it? It wasn't Selena
Her
Gomez.
and her and Miss Haley Bieber.
Oh, they got into it. They got into it. Yeah.
Well, because like the thing is, they never 100% confirmed that all these posts, because it was like Haley Bieber and then Kylie and Kendall Jenner.
Mm-hmm.
Like they never 100% confirmed that the posts that were being made were about Selena,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't really take rocket science to put like two and two together to figure
Yeah.
out that they were talking about her,
Mm-hmm.
because it like I feel like I think it kind of started with like Selena posting something about her like over laminating her eyebrows. And
Mm-hmm.
then Kylie and Haley and Kendall were all posting photos of them with overly laminated eyebrows, being like, really? You did this? You didn't do this on purpose? Okay, sure. But they like didn't directly say Selena's name. and then
But
the
then
rest of
they
the
were gathering Haley.
mm-hmm.
They were getting her ass, and I didn't know people were about Selena like that. I didn't know that she had such a fan base that was that like.
I mean, I think Selena Gomez's fans are pretty dedicated to her.
Yeah, true. And I think also I
I
think
feel
part of
like
it is too with a lot of these celebrities. It's not even about the celebrity; it's about the chance to get into an argument on the internet that people love.
that's true.
People
A
love
good
discourse. People love
a
to argue.
good celebrity Twitter beef
Hmm.
or like social media brawl sends the girls into a frenzy. All the fucking like Twitter twinks,
The Twitter twinks, the Twitter
they
15-year-old girls, the Twitter like all of it.
they go feral. They go
And I
absolutely
don't blame
feral.
them. It's fun. It's fun to see the aftermath, the backlash, the
Absolutely.
fallout.
Oh, totally. Now, speaking of beef,
Hmm.
what is an item of food that you feel you have really been getting into lately? What's been like your current food obsession?
My current food. Okay, so I have a boring answer and I think a better answer. The real actual answer is Brussels sprouts, which is like I feel
Ooh.
like such a middle-aged woman like thing
Like,
to like get it.
so how are we like preparing them? Like
I mean, I
roasted
just
or
just a regular roasted Brussels sprout.
okay.
And I
Any
mean, I had
like
these
like
I had these like roasted Brussels sprouts and like this sweet and sour sauce at this place called Brighton Bodega, I think. And they
okay.
were really, really nice. And I
Mm.
was like, you know what, I should start making Brussels sprouts. And the thing about me is I'll like find a food I like, but I won't put that much effort into I don't like I like to cook, but
Yeah.
I very rarely have the energy to cook.
Oh
So
no. I'm 100% with you on that one. I
so like
my parents like recently I was sorry to interrupt.
go for it. Mm.
My mom was asking me like she stopped by my apartment recently and she was like, "Have you been like have you been cooking or anything? Like what have you been making?" And I'm like, um well, I did actually cook something last night. But most of my meals are since I work like nights,
Mm-hmm.
I don't usually get home until closer to like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So most of my meals nowadays either have to be easy to prepare
Mm-hmm.
or leftovers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Or the
I'm not
leftovers
about
of the thing that was easy to prepare.
yeah, I'm not about to make a like a lemongrass and crab risotto at like 11:35 p.m.
Even at like 9 p.m., that's too late. I'm like, that's too
Oh
much.
no. That's one of those things like I will that I got to be starting that at like at the latest 6.
Absolutely. And if, even then, I might get tired halfway through
Oh, totally.
and just be like, this is too much. Also, the
Yeah.
dishes. I can't do dishes. But the other thing that I always get,
Does your apartment not have a dishwasher?
not yet. We're looking
Ah,
at we're looking at new places, and one of them does have a dishwasher.
okay.
And if we get that place, honestly, it's gonna be a party. But
I made that when Lance and I were looking at places.
mhm.
I made that like a prerequisite
When you
for
don't have a
wherever.
dishwasher or a washer and dryer in your apartment, it is
Mhm.
truly it makes you appreciate the finer things.
Oh, absolutely.
It's one of those
Absolutely.
first world problems that are, oh God,
It's like
hard. To,
it feels like a luxury. Like you feel like whenever I get to run my dishwasher and
mm-hmm.
it's like filled to the brim, I feel like I'm being pampered.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm like all I had to do was like scrape off into the trash can and then just like load up the dishwasher, toss in the pod and that's it.
Call it a day, and then
Yeah.
you're done.
And I don't
Congratulations,
have
you
to
did it.
like scrub and scrape for like an hour and a half.
Goodness, that's so. But also, I've been, unfortunately, since I do work a lot, I work pretty fiercely.
Yep.
I've been so ashamed. eating out a lot lately,
Mm.
and I love it gets me together so fiercely. I
Uh,
love a Taco Bell chicken quesadilla
okay.
and with a soft taco, and I'll
All right.
get the mango cream freeze.
Ooh.
It's like basically remember those slushies at Target?
Yes.
It's basically that. Um
I remember when the Target that I usually go to. Do you remember like the Pizza Hut, the Target Pizza Huts?
yes, I do. I do.
I
I
rem
do.
I
I
remember
do.
when my Target used to have one of those. I
Back when we were a proper country.
hmm Back before those libtards ruined everything.
Honestly,
Um
honestly, a great meme would be like, reject modernity. And it's a picture of the Target Starbucks, and then like embrace tradition, and it's the Target Pizza
Pizza
Hut with
Hut.
the hot dogs and the popcorn and
Yes.
the slushies. Oh my god.
Oh
That's
God.
that's the tradition that I'm here for. That's my version of conservatism.
Exactly. Fuck walking around Starbucks with like a matcha latte. I'm doing it with with a fucking 7-inch hot dog and a like
Stuffed crust pizza.
a greasy slice of cheese pizza.
Hmm. And I'm
Yeah.
taking I'm doing half the blue, half the red slushy, make a purple thingy. Son,
That's
I'm
what
that
I
girl.
always do whenever I go to the movies. I always do the half like cherry, half blue raspberry
Mm,
icy.
mm. Actually, last night I went to Coolidge Corner Theater, and we watched a movie. We watched I'm a Cheerleader. I think it's called But I'm a Cheerleader.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know that movie.
So good with RuPaul and Jane
Yeah,
Fonda.
the one where she's isn't that the one about the girl who's like a lesbian?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
It was
yeah. And
so funny. It was
I
so
just
good. I loved it.
I just know that movie because of her looking she's like that one scene where she's like, "I'm a homosexual."
I'm a homosexual. Yeah.
That's like all I know about the movie, but it like turns my pussy out every time.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's funny to see RuPaul playing the straight person out of drag.
Oh yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
RuPaul trying to butch it up. Yeah. Did you
And,
is that so would you say that is that like the chicken quesadilla? Is that like your usual like go-to order or like is that just a recent like
um,
kind of
the
thing?
recent thing is, I think, because it used to be the chicken quesadilla is a recent thing because it used to be it used to be the beefy Frito burrito, but they don't make that anymore.
Mm,
They have the beefy melt burrito, which is good still, but it's not the beefy Frito burrito because it has that crunch to it.
right.
Um, so I pivoted to the quesadilla, and the quesadilla, it's not easy to eat while driving, but it's easier to eat than like tacos because tacos you gotta like put your head to the side.
Mm,
So that's what I pivoted to.
okay. Fair enough. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's I see I never unless they are seasoned well, I don't think I could ever I'm not like a Brussels sprouts gal
Really?
unless they are cooked well and seasoned. Like I
Hmm.
could when I was growing up, my mother was one of those people who would just like boil like Brussels sprouts and like boil foods, but like not season them in any way, shape, or form. And then she'd wonder why I disliked vegetables so much. I mean, like, I wasn't one of those little kids who was like, no, fuck vegetables, fuck this shit.
Hmm.
But I did, there were certain vegetables that I was like, no, no, no,
I can't have this just boiled. I can't do this boiled broccoli.
no. So, and I think from a young age, I knew that unless it was seasoned properly, you would not catch me with that shit. You
Hmm.
would not catch me with
Wouldn't
it.
be caught dead.
No. I like if I'm gonna eat Brussels sprouts, I need it to be like I want roasted Brussels sprouts with like a sweet, a spicy like honey glaze or drizzle over top,
Hmm.
maybe with some like crushed walnuts or something, or like
That
a
does sound really
pecan,
nice.
maybe nice little pecan
A nice little
drizzle.
toasted pecan on top.
Yeah,
That does sound really lovely.
that sounds fierce.
But see
Like
that
that, I would
see
do.
that's
That I would
that's
do.
what I would have that at the restaurant and then just make roasted Brussels sprouts on top because I'm like that is just so much going on there.
Well,
I've also been in my shrimp era. Like, I went
ooh,
to as you know I went to Atlanta recently, and I got
yes,
this I went to like a seafood boil, and so I've been all about like the just dipping some just boiling a bunch of shrimp and corn, and dipping it in like a nice butter sauce and just
yes.
going to town.
Shrimp is one of my go-to like proteins
Hmm.
that I would put on something. Like I don't like I'm not I do I love a good like shrimp taco. I love a good like shrimp um a salad with like grilled shrimp on it or something. Like
That sounds sexy
a good shrimp can work my pussy out.
all the way out.
And I do enjoy. I've only had a really good seafood bake like a couple of times in my life, but the times that I had them, they were fierce. But I also was like too young at one of the times I did it. I was too young to understand how to like crack open a lobster tail.
Oh no,
So I was like, I didn't. I had to like have help from like my family, and like
someone
they
help
were
me.
like, yeah, they were like, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, I think I did slightly overcommit.
It is what it
But
is.
speaking of overcommitting, let's take a break. And welcome back to part two of our exclusive Barbara Deborah Karen from Accounting Interview Spectacular with co-host of the latest in the Gayest podcast, Joshua Gonzalez.
It's me. I'm here. We're having a
Now,
good time.
in past seasons of Drag Race,
Yes.
they have there's a tradition that they always like to do, which is what would you tell your younger self
Okay.
nowadays? But
Should I
we're
cry?
gonna I think but I would like to say, what is one bit of advice you wish you could have given yourself before the start of season 1?
Hmm.
And
I
like
think
knowing what you know now.
honestly, something we talked a little about during our break is get enough sleep the night before
Mm,
because you think a podcast is just talking. You think it's just like, oh, talking's easy. It's like whatever. But honestly, there are days where I'll do the pod and I'll be so tired afterwards, even though it's literally just talking. Like if we
hmm
were just like on like Skype, like just talking or like on FaceTime, and we
hmm
were talking, it would not be an issue. But for some reason, like talking with direction, talking with like I don't want to say conviction, but with like
Oh
direction,
no,
it's much more exhausting and tiring than you think. It uses more energy than you think it uses. So
no,
get enough sleep.
absolutely.
Get
Yeah,
enough sleep.
well,
Rest.
because there's a lot more that goes into making a show like this than
Hmm.
just sitting down in front of a microphone and yammering on for 40 minutes. Like I think we've talked about this before, but we have like weekly meetings
Hmm.
where we plan out each episode and we plan out what we're going to talk about. And then like before like we even record the episode, we write down notes for ourselves to like make sure, during each segment we're hitting like certain key points. Like I currently have my notes kind of like off to the side here, not on camera, but like I to make sure that I'm doing this like the best I can. And I don't have that kind of like natural repartee to just like get in front of a camera and just talk and like
Hmm.
create comedy gold Like for me, I actually have to put in effort.
It's effort to be this wonderful and beautiful and perfect.
I am
Beauty hurts.
unfortunately, yeah, not as talented as Billy Eichner, but I
It's a
think at
labor
this
of love.
point we've all forgiven him for Boys, so
Uh, it's not that Boys was a bad movie. It's just that he was so butthurt about
the reaction to it.
the reaction. Yeah,
Yeah, no, you're not wrong.
and I mean, I also didn't know much about Miss Eichner beforehand, so.
It's true. Yeah. No, but like he Josh is absolutely right. Like currently I'm exhausted because I did not get enough sleep the night before.
Hmm.
And I was also up late doing laundry, like putting
Hmm.
because I yesterday was my laundry day. So I was like putting away laundry from like 11:30 till like 12:30, and I didn't even like get to bed until closer to like 1 a.m. So it
We
just was like it
we had
it's
to be on camera by 11, so oof, that's
exactly,
a
and we got to
nightmare.
be ready to go by 11 a.m. So it's a struggle. But
That is a struggle.
yeah. Now
Rest is
we are almost halfway through 2023. We've
oh,
just
shut up. We are
we've just entered April. Um, we will be getting, I think, is May technically like the halfway point, or would that be June?
beginning of
Because
June, end of May.
yeah, June. Okay, so we're a couple months away. We're like 2 months away from the halfway point
Hmm.
of 2023. Now, what what would you say was your favorite thing to come out of 2022 that happened to you personally?
I would have to say being able to well, I have two answers. Um, One thing would be, of course, the pod. I think having the podcast, having this little outlet for my voice has been therapeutic and very nice. And it's
Absolutely.
just it's very fun, very helpful with me mentally. Just having like a thing, a hobby. It's important to have.
Right.
Um, and I also want to say being able to like go out and drink again, which is gonna sound like alcoholic to me, but I just love to dance and drink so much, and being able to go out there and like, because that's also like one of the few ways to get me to like exercise and move is to go dance.
Go dancing, yeah.
Go dancing. I mean, any calories I'm burning, I'm like
That's true.
ingesting in like vodka sodas
Oh
and
yeah. Would you
white wine.
say that like dancing and drinks would be like your ideal date to like
Honestly,
get to know you? Like if you were on a date, you'd be like, "Don't take me to a restaurant. Let's go get Cosmos and like dance to Lady Gaga."
honestly, yeah. Like we can like we'll go to McDonald's beforehand and then like
Right.
pregame in the parking lot and then go out dancing. That's what I want to do.
That's what
That's
you
how I
would
have
want
fun.
for your ideal date.
Yep. Maybe not the first date, but like second or third, if you want to really
Okay.
get it going.
What's like an ideal, what would you say is your ideal first date? Like what would, if you like somebody wants to get to know you, what would what would you recommend to them?
Definitely food, always
Of
food, and an
course.
activity. So don't
Okay.
like, and it doesn't need to be planned. It could be like, okay, like let's like meet at the Boston Commons. We'll go to the uh a ramen bar down there, and then we'll just walk around afterwards. But like,
Right.
food and then an activity is for me because I feel like just going to a restaurant like that's so limited, and it's like okay, we can either like the thing about like I want the activity afterwards because
Right.
I don't want to just go chill at your apartment afterwards. I want to like still be
That
out
yeah, as
and
long
about.
you yeah, you got to like do something other than just like, we'll go grab some sushi and then
Hmm.
go back to my place and fuck.
Yeah, honestly, that's here's the thing. It's hard to be simultaneously a slut and have like I'm finding like kind of a low libido. Like I
Yeah.
don't care about fucking as much as I do. Like when I want it, I'm like I'm ready. Take give it to me. Like spit in
When
my mouth,
when it's
snap my
time
neck,
when
and
it's time, it's
yeah.
time.
But it's time. But when it's not time, I'm not interested. and
Yeah.
you can't make me interested too is a thing that I'm learning.
You're not like one of those gays who can be easily persuaded into getting horny.
Well, something I love that people say is that like I'm not really horny right now. I'm like, well, I can make you horny, and I'm just like, no, you can't.
No, you
No, you
cannot.
can't. You just can't. And I'm so sorry. Like, yes,
Yeah,
you are
it's
very
like
attractive, and here's I
you
think
you
too. Like,
you have a wonderful penis, but
yes,
it is not going to convince me to flip over my mattress for you.
honestly, and the thing too is that like I've even been in situations where I've like I have like pursued like okay the date's happening and I want it to be a good date and I want to like have a good I want this person to have a good opinion of me and to want
Right,
a second date so I'll go back to the apartment so we can Netflix and chill
right.
and like even you might be able to get me hard but that doesn't mean I like care.
That's a fair point actually. A there's a difference between okay, you gave me a boner and then oh, you like I'm actually like wanting to intercourse you.
Yeah, horny and aroused are like different. I can
That's
be
very true.
aroused like you can make me like yeah sure maybe you make get arouse you but you can't make me like care about it.
Yeah, like a
And
nice,
I
a nice dick pic might, make me pitch a tent,
mhm.
but that does not mean
I
that
want to go
I
camping.
exactly. There you go. There you go.
So like yeah, I think food and activity and not sex on the first date was how you honestly sex on the first date for me is kind of a death sentence because then I'm like
Because
meh.
then you feel like the person only cares about like sex.
Well, because then also like where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? We've done so much so
That's
soon.
that's a fair point. Like it, not that we do not slut shame,
No.
but if this is an actual date, like a romantic date, and then
Hmm.
on the first date y'all are ending up like taking off your clothes, then by the next time you see each other, you've already like extended most of the pleasantries. So it's
Hmm.
like at this point, what do you do? Like,
Yeah, it's like okay, we're gonna do that again, I guess. Like,
yeah, because I feel like the standard thing nowadays, or not even like nowadays, but like, isn't it considered like? Uh, I feel like back in the day, it was like if a girl waits until the third date or something to kiss you, that
mhm.
means that she's like good luck or like she's one of the good ones or like whatever.
I don't know. I guess maybe
I
so.
I feel like maybe that was a thing. I don't know,
That
but
sounds
like
right.
it probably back in the 50s, yeah, she's a hussy if she
She
kisses
kisses on the
on the
first date,
first date. Yeah, exactly.
and see, gays are like fucking.
Well, no, nowadays, like if you nowadays gay people will like fist each other on the first date.
Oh yeah, if you're not doing like fucking competitive freeform diving into someone's hole,
If
then
you yeah, if you
then was it even a date?
no, if you do not go home and your like whole entire forearm looks like you're wearing a like single Vaseline covered glove,
Hmm.
then you didn't do it right.
Yeah, if it looks like you. God.
Like you want to go home with your arm looking like you're wearing like black breakfast at Tiffany's gloves.
Oh my god.
Like that's considers a successful first date in the gay like dating
Hmm.
world.
Yeah, if you don't have tan lines from fisting, it wasn't
Mm-hmm.
a it wasn't a first date from public fisting.
Yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
something I saw recently. Some guy on Twitter was like, "Oh, like we're at like in this alley, like behind a bar, we're fisting." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Girly pop, that's so much.
That's
It's a lot."
like that's I yeah, that's too much for me. Especially in like the alleyway too.
On on the streets, wild, wild.
But gay people are into some weird shit.
We
Um,
we pushed the envelope.
it's true.
We were
But
pioneers.
speaking of your like something that like stuff that has happened to you,
Hmm.
what would you like what is something that you want to kind of manifest for yourself in 2023 for the rest of this year? What
I
is
would love a boyfriend, and I'd love to
ooh,
make some more friends too.
okay.
Just more companionship this year in general, I think, is something that I would like. And
Okay.
I'm doing okay. I'm trying. I'm making it work.
Yeah,
Um,
would you say you're good at like making friends or
I can be if I want to. I just
if you like put in the time and effort and everything?
here's the thing. I like having friends, but I don't like
Mm.
making friends. Does that make sense?
Oh no no no. I'm right there I'm right there with you. I'm right there
It's
with
like
you.
working out. It's like working out. I like to have worked out. I don't like working out.
I want the results of working out, but from sitting on the couch and watching Dance Moms.
Exactly. And you know
Like
what? We can get there.
I like you know those like shitty diet supplement pills that you find at like the gas stations that have
Hmm.
like a hornet on the label with like boxing gloves
Hmm.
and but like he's also got a mohawk.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and you know what? We've all been
Yeah.
there.
And then there's the fucking like the Baba Booey boner pills or whatever.
Yes.
Like you can
The
find
Rhino
any
Rocket pills.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Um
I've actually taken one of those once, and they gave me a
did
really
you
bad.
actually?
It's a long story, but this guy wanted me. What he wanted me to take was, oh my God, he this guy wanted me to get this.
What did you put into your system?
I don't remember. I was like, what he wanted me to get, which they didn't have.
Okay.
He wanted me to get either these pills or this like poppers, basically that like made it so you busted a bigger load,
Okay.
and because he really wanted he oh my
He
God,
wanted to be drenched
drenched.
at the end of the
He was
evening.
this man was wild.
He
I miss
wanted
I miss him dearly.
he
Um,
wanted his entire neck and face to be covered in a coat of Sherman Williams eggshell.
I think what it was honestly is he wanted the result to be shot up into his
Oh,
lower intestines.
into his insides. Okay.
He wanted to hit his diaphragm
Okay.
and bounce off. I mean,
All
I don't
right.
know. I remember exactly what he wanted,
Right.
but I couldn't
But he
find that.
wanted a lot of it,
He wanted a
basically.
lot.
Yeah.
Um, so I ended up just getting this like vitality stuff, so like I could go multiple rounds, and he ended up being like, "Can we just cuddle?" And I was like,
Ah!
"Well, I have a headache, and
This
my
fucking
my dick is so hard it kind of hurts, so I would like something." And it's cost like $30. I'm like,
these fucking this fucking like discount Cialis with a like roid rage Tony the Tiger on the package
exactly.
have given me the worst migraine of my entire life, and my dick feels like it's going to genuinely explode. So this is either going inside of you or like somewhere, or I'll put it in your toilet. I don't care.
I
But
gotta just let's now, yeah. I think
this is
we just ended up
this
like
has
making
to
out, and I
end.
jerked. Oh yeah,
This has to end.
this has to end. Oh, but one thing I miss about him too is he had the most big booty, and it was so clean. It just
Ooh,
could go on for hours.
ooh.
But
It was well
well
trimmed.
maintained.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay. Fair
beautiful.
enough. All right. That's a good. We do you prefer a hairy bootay or a shaved bootay?
I doesn't need to be hairless, but I don't want to go.
You don't want to come up from eating him out and have gained an even longer beard.
Exactly. I don't like having hair in my mouth, kind of like ever.
Yeah.
After I come up, I don't want to be picking things off my tongue. Like, at least like trimmed,
Okay.
maintained in some way would be
Yeah.
nice.
Keeping getting the get at least like get the hedge clippers out a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, I'm trying to go for a walk in the park, not a hike in the woods.
There you go.
That's how I'm feeling
Yeah.
usually.
I want to be able to if I can taste a little bit, that's fine, but if I'm tasting, like a whole if it feels like I'm rooting through my dog's hairbrush, then we're gonna have
Let's
to then we're gonna have to pump the brakes and
get the hedge clippers.
do a little manscaping because this ain't
Mm-hmm.
it. This ain't it,
Christina
Barbara.
Chief. Sorry, sorry, Valerie. We're gonna have to
Sorry,
clean it up.
sorry to this man.
Sorry to this man
Well, anyway, thank you,
and to you.
Josh, so much for joining us here. Give our best to Alex
Of course, we will.
when he comes back from Switzerland
Hmm.
with Jennifer. I hope all goes well, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope to come back again sometime soon.
We would love to have you.
Love that. Love
And
that. Lovely
if
gal.
if you would like to hear more of Josh's beautiful voice, you can find
Hmm.
him and the latest and the gayest on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Radio Public. And you can also find the YouTube channel where you can find all past and present episodes of the latest and the gayest available for free the day they come out, and the video episode of that week's brand new episode up every Wednesday. And you can also follow them on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TLATG Pod to stay up to date on all things the latest and the gayest. And you can also find their link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of their social medias, to not only find where you can listen to the show and all their socials, but you can also find some charitable organizations that they are promoting at the moment. So, with that, thank you so much for joining us, Diane. That's a really good
Thank
point.
you so much, Diane. It's a great, wonderful question, Diane.
And goodbye.
Goodbye.